I'm Dr. Leif Smith, and I'm a clinical psychologist with over 30,000 different sessions with clients over 21 years. And I'm here to tell you, if you want to have less stress this holiday season, if you want to have more fun, if you want to have more energy to have all that fun, if you want to get in less altercations with your third cousins this holiday season, you need to watch this video. So do I have your attention yet? Okay. Tip number 1 on how to have a better holiday season. You need to reduce your commitments this holiday season. What does that look like? Well, there's always parties going on, right? Do you need to go to all of them? What about get-togethers? What about work get-togethers? Happy hours? Do you really need to get the Santa Claus hat on and go get drunk or go hang out and drink things you don't want to drink with people you don't really want to hang out with all the time? You don't need to do that. What about avoiding all those crowds at the malls if you're a person that actually doesn't just click your Amazon cart to shop? So going out and shopping, do you really need to do that? Do you need to do it all the time? Do you need to do that on weekends? No, you don't. If you're a parent, what about all those kid commitments? Do you really need to have all those kid commitments? Going to get-togethers, going to play dates, all those sorts of things. Can you do less of them? Of course. What about travel? Do you really need to travel this holiday season? I know it's fun and it can be a good thing, but a lot of times, especially if you have a lot of things going on, if you have a big family, if you have small kids, it can be a real time and energy suck for you. So maybe this is the holiday season where you don't travel as much and people come to you. Tip number 2, what about changing up or starting new traditions? What does that mean? Well, if you're like me and my family, we are doing something called Elf on the Shelf, where you have a little elf and you move it around and the kids enjoy it, and every day the elf is hanging in a new place in your house if you remember to do it at the right times. So maybe this year you don't do Elf on the Shelf. Maybe he doesn't want to visit your house this year. Or maybe you're introducing Elf on a Shelf this year. And if you haven't done it yet, maybe now's the time for you to do that. What about eggnog? I love eggnog. My daughter loves eggnog. My 2 sons despise eggnog. My wife, not so much. So maybe you need to introduce or take away eggnog. If I'm hanging out with you, you better have eggnog though. Another tradition or change of tradition you can do on the Thanksgiving, right? I don't know about you, but turkey that's reheated in a microwave for weeks after Thanksgiving, no thank you, Martha. No thank you. So what we're doing in our house is less turkey. Barely some, I should say. We'll have a little bit of turkey with Thanksgiving, but we'll also have chicken and we'll have other things. Why? Because we don't really like turkey leftovers. And if you're like me, growing up, we had turkey for weeks after Thanksgiving. And the smell of it reheating in a microwave alone, blah. Okay, so maybe you change up something like that. What about gifts? Maybe you can open them early. Maybe you can open them late. Maybe you can do it differently. Maybe you can open one on Christmas Eve, and maybe you can open one later. I don't know. Change it up. What about travel? I just talked about not traveling if that's something you always do. Maybe you can break the tradition, and maybe this year you do travel. Last year, for the first time in a long time, I traveled on New Year's with my wife and family. And so we were in Florida enjoying New Year's, and it was different for me to be in 75-degree weather on January 1st. I kind of liked it. It was nice. Filmed a couple videos, hung out by the pool in the hot tub. I kind of liked it. So travel, if you don't normally travel, can be something that you do. You can change up a tradition there. What about movies that you watch? Maybe you can watch the movie you've always been wanting to watch, but you never did. Or maybe you can start introducing new movies. In my family, one of the things I've done, and this is one of their traditions, that in my family, we watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve every year. And I've done this for, I think like 30 years in my life. So that's a tradition. You could introduce something like that. Or maybe you can watch Elf on Christmas Eve because it's so silly and so hilarious. I don't know, there's so many Christmas movies, okay? But you can go out there and start a new tradition for your family or adjust your tradition so that it's not as stressful for you and your family. Tip number 3, I want you to try to take more time in this holiday season. What does that mean? Well, when you're little and you misbehave, right, you get time out. Your mom or your dad sends you in your room for time out so that you can think about the consequences of your bad behavior. Well, let's think about the consequences of your bad behavior, our bad behavior on the holidays, and how stressed out we get. Every year we look forward to them, right? And every year they come, and while we're going through them, it's stressful and we're not having as much fun as we need to. So maybe we need to give ourselves some time ins, which means going inward, taking mindful moments, if you want to look at it that way. Having a nice conversation and really enjoying the conversation uninterrupted with your mom, with your dad, with your siblings, with your third cousin Louie from Kentucky. That's fine, but have some time in, a mindful moment. Spend some time drawing, writing in a journal. If you're artfully inclined, which I am not, drawing can be a great way to just relax your mind. Journaling, if you are so inclined. I love to journal. Journal about your feelings. Journal about where you are in your life right now. Keep a kind of written record of what's going on in your life, and so you'll have that for the future and for future generations. Spend time people watching. That's a great mindfulness activity. When I do get forced to go to the malls or to shopping centers during the holidays, I like to sit with my Starbucks and watch people. I like to sit there and just take it all in. Take in the holiday music, take in the shopping, take in the couple fighting over in the corner, take in the mom yelling at her kids peacefully while I sip my piping hot, scaldingly hot Starbucks drink, right? But spend some time people watching. That's a great way to take time in. Movies are great ways to do that too. Walks with family. Walking, there's something about getting outside, even if it's cold where you are, getting outside and just taking time to walk and pay attention to what's going through your mind. Overall, you want to spend some time contemplating, thinking about this year that has passed us so quickly. If you're like me, you just realize life happens to you quickly. We need some time here, the holidays, which is near the end of the year, where we sit there and we think about another year has passed. How have I changed? How have I gotten better? What can I do differently? What did I love about this year? How am I different as a person? But overall, this tip is an important one. So take some time in, take some mindful time to sit there and just be peaceful with your thoughts. I'm Dr. Leif Smith. Hopefully you enjoy those 3 tips on how to make your holiday season less stressful this year. And I will see you in my next video.